A person with social anxiety disorder, the moment they are just being stared at, they think it's no accident. You'll say to yourself, yes, indeed, they're looking at me. They're really looking at you. They saw you looking at them and they looked at you. They just looked. I happened to look, and it turns out they were looking at me and discussing me. You see, that's your dialogue inside. It doesn't happen that way, though. That is, such a fixation, so that this flaw of mine is not seen, or something does not happen, so that you are not evaluated negatively. You are not in contact with a person. You do not notice the world around you. You get tired of it. You want to end this relationship faster, not to pretend, not to hide, to calmly exhale and move on. You see what the problem is? The fixation on yourself, on your negativity. The attention will always be focused. And if you are fixated on the negativity, you will find all the time in yourself and expose this negativity within yourself. Here is the moment, because you are not fixated. So a person came up, probably, a person saw some interest in me, experienced some interest. A person wants to meet me, a person wants to be friends. A man wants to spend time with me, he likes me. No, don't think that. It's more likely that the person approached me because they want to use me. And there's something wrong with you and it's just a womanizer or someone who wants one thing. And the person just came up to you, complimented you. Probably just wants to be friends and just socialize. What's the problem in your head? You for yourself, this relationship is how you will voice it. And when you tell yourself this, you again get tired. Anxiety grows. You start to avoid. Constant fixation on yourself. You don't notice the real world, and you keep negatively evaluating and criticizing yourself. Not only that, you may at such times remember the past automatically. What was wrong with you in the past? That you look like a person who has been hurt by someone before. Or you can tell yourself that this relationship is not promising, no longer even trying to create something. And this fixation on yourself to such an extent that after you have run away from this contact, you cannot even remember what the person said to you. You can't remember his facial expressions or his gestures. You just didn't notice because you were completely fixated on yourself. One more time. What's the problem? A person with social anxiety disorder feels inferior around others. The inferiority is created by the person's own thoughts about themselves, negativity and fixation on aspects of themselves that they don't like. If you don't like your nose and you pass by the mirror, where will you look? You're not going to look at what you like. You're going to look at the nose you don't like. Not only that, you're going to be talking about it to everyone, everywhere, and telling them what's wrong with it. Trying to solve that problem. But in reality, you're telling about what you don't like and your fixation. And what you pay attention to, it affects your thoughts. If I'm fat, or my breasts are small, or they're big, what will I say to myself? I will think that I will not be chosen, that nobody needs me, that I do not meet any ideal. And I will, accordingly, think like that. My thoughts are formed on the basis of what I pay attention to. I pay attention to the negative. I think about it all the time. I pay attention to my virtues, my strengths. My thoughts, my thinking starts to process what I pay attention to. Do you understand the mechanism? How thoughts are formed? Where you direct your attention, your thinking begins to process. You pay attention to your fat and you say, I'm fat. Because of that I won't get picked. And your thinking begins to process this information to create more thoughts. Why this is happening, to validate, to find and create in your life. Inside you experience and feel it all. Pay attention to your strengths. Or pay attention to what the person is happily striving in communication with you. And you then begin to look further. And what he did not like in you. You can even ask, considering the person, what interests he has. What could you do with him, Could you spend time together now? You see, there's a different kind of thinking going on. What you focus your attention on, those are the thoughts that come up. That's the level of attention. That is, what your thoughts are depends on what you're paying attention to. Look at the negative all the time. Your thinking is working through it. You will think about it inside. Find some opportunities, some positive aspects. Your thinking is working through it and talking about it more and more.